Hi all, welcome to another edition of Warriors of Attraction. My name's Adam and welcome. Hi Mark on Instagram. Obviously tonight I am going to be constantly turning like that because obviously I've got StreamYard here with Facebook and YouTube, but then over here I've got Instagram. So we are live, and if you haven't watched us before, please do give us a follow. On Instagram it's MHWarrior2020. On Facebook, it's the Mental Health Warriors. YouTube is at MH Warrior TV. You can find it all on Google, whatever. Tonight, we've got Liam Tuohy. He is an advocate for ADHD, and he is literally going to share a really, really powerful story of how you can stay fit and healthy all while living with ADHD. So, and obviously, I'm going to learn things here. So, please do subscribe if you haven't already. And yes, we will kick off, and I will see you in about 30 seconds. Let's go. Not that one. Sorry about that, guys. Welcome back, everyone. And hi, Liam. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Adam. How are you?
I am absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So why don't while I share this on Instagram, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction of who you are and a little bit of a background of like what happened when you were first diagnosed with ADHD?
Yeah, sure. So, got diagnosed with ADHD about 2 years ago now. So, I live with that my whole life undiagnosed. So, as you can imagine, it come with an array of challenges. Um, One mainly for me was employment. So, I really struggled with holding a job down, constantly jump from job to job my whole life, getting in trouble with the police, drugs, crime, violence. The list goes on. Same old story. Um, and yeah, I mean, back in 21, I got arrested, was looking at quite a long time in prison, and I got found guilty. And that's when I had to change my life. So that's when I really needed to sort my life out, get a job. So I got a job and they let me go because I couldn't learn it quick enough. And it was a really, really hard time for me. Fast forward a couple of months, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and it was almost like a light had been switched back on. My whole life changed. I could finally focus again. And with that, I started my own fitness coaching company, specifically designed for individuals with ADHD to get them into the shape of their life, not only physically, but mentally too. I'm also an inclusive workplace specialist and deliver talks on neurodiversity in the workplace because I've been knocked down by employers my whole life. So, very passionate about that and truly believe that it is the people with ADHD that I was born to serve. So, I'm just trying to give back as I am a living, breathing, walking, talking example of what I do. And I want to help as many people as I can.
Brilliant. Yeah, and thanks for that because there is that stigma where people still don't understand the concept of ADHD because I know one symptom or sign of ADHD is hyperness, when they're hyper, and people still mistake and misconcept it for, oh, they're just being silly, they're being naughty, control that person. But it's like, you can't control that. You need them to do that themselves.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, I mean,
and obviously we've got a comment from Rebecca Fallon, who's a neurodivergent parent like myself, and she's obviously put about the workplace where employers have now made reasonable adjustments for neurodivergent people. But as good as that is, and obviously we was talking about this over Messenger earlier, where and thanks for the comment, Rebecca, much appreciated. Where obviously, yes, they've made reasonable adjustments, but still not enough, because they made reasonable adjustments for people that are wheelchair bound, but they've not made like reasonable adjustments for, say, someone that lives with autism.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, you got to think about it. You know, if you're going for a job interview, and at the time when I went for that job, I didn't even know that I had ADHD, and they was asking me things like, "Are you a fast learner?" And of course, I'm going to tell them I'm a fast learner. I knew I wasn't, but had I told them that, I wouldn't have got the job. So I had to tell them that. But at the time, I didn't know I even had it. Yeah, but people are reluctant to put that down anyway, because if they did, there's a good chance they would not even get that job. So people are holding it back, not telling people, and it's a real battle. And again, I mean, reasonable adjustments need to be made. Had they have let me go now in 2024 or 23, there's a good chance I could have took them to court. But it was a little bit different back then. I know it was only 2 years ago, but you know, a lot has changed since then. And neurodiversity in the workplace is massive in a minute. So, you know, had they had let me go now, there's a good chance I could have took them court, you know, because they made me feel stupid, worthless. They left me unemployed over Christmas, no money, no energy. I felt like life was hopeless. I didn't know what I was going to do. And, you know, I didn't know what the hell on earth I was going to do in my life. Again, there I was, unemployed with nothing, no job. And it was a really, really tough time of my life. But at the same time, thank God they let me go, because had I have stayed in that job, I would have been dead inside right now. So thank God they let me go.
Absolutely. Well, what I've just done, guys, is I've just ended the live on Instagram, and I thought, you know what? Because and because I've got more followers on TikTok rather than Instagram, I've actually gone live on TikTok instead, just so we can get this message out there. So I think that'll be absolutely brilliant, because this is what needs to happen. Is we need to get this word out about ADHD, and why there's still stereotype individuals that are still misconcepting ADHD and autism to, like, for example, people in a wheelchair. And we should all be treated as equal as each other, rather than we have to lie to, for example, as you say, to get a job.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I didn't even know that I had it, did I? But had I known, I certainly wouldn't have told them, because they would have looked at that and gone, "No, you're all right, mate," and I wouldn't have got that job. But again, asked me whether I was a fast learner. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm not, am I? I'm trying to get a job here. So obviously, I told them that I was a fast learner. And mate, I know I wasn't a fast learner. I knew it, but I tried my best. And when they let me go, he said to me, "Look, I'm so sorry. Your work ethic is second to none, but you're just not learning it quick enough. I'm so sorry. I've got to let you go." I begged and pleaded with this guy to keep me on. And finally, he allowed me to come back in the new year after Christmas on the basis that I wasn't getting paid. So everyone else that was learning got paid, right?
Yeah.
I had no money all over Christmas, but I just wanted that opportunity and one last chance to try and show them that I could do it. So I studied all over Christmas. I had no money. Went back in the new year, thought I was doing pretty well, but I think by then they'd already made their mind up. And he goes, look, your work ethic is second to none. And it is, you know what I mean? I'm non-stop, like, I try my hardest in anything I do. But he said, because you're not grasping the concept of it quick enough, we got to let you go. And I was like, really? I was like, okay then. So I got my stuff and left. It was like terrible, terrible time, man. It was so hard, you know. Then I was again in January, unemployed. Beginning of a new year, didn't know what the hell on earth I was going to do. Wow. And then after that, I actually started. After that, I got diagnosed with ADHD. So I started working for a good friend of mine, selling high tickets still. So I was working on the phone doing telesales. By then, I had the medication. So the focus was second to none. I was picking up the phone, putting it back down, breaking records, making one sale after another, time and time again. It's almost like I was a different person. I was literally breaking records in the office. But my friend who owned that business actually had a heart attack at the age of 47 and died. So that left me unemployed again and heartbroken, to say the least. He was a really good friend of mine. And with that, I had a bit of time on my hands again, and that's when I registered to South Health and Fitness as a limited company, and the rest is history. You know, so now I can do what I want, when I want, with who I want. But it was a battle when I first started it. I couldn't pay my rent, mate, for months. It was, you know, I felt like giving up and stop embarrassing myself. But as we stand here today, I'm probably having my best time in business ever. But, you know, with that being said, it's still not easy. It's a real battle, you know. So I'm doing it all on my own, but yeah, man, we're a lot further ahead than what we was. That's for sure. And I've got no one telling me what to do, which is a great thing as well.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm proud of you for that. And everyone, yeah, and welcome everyone on TikTok as well. Thank you for the likes. Just a little bit of an introduction. What we're doing is every Friday I go live on YouTube and Facebook, but I've actually started to go live on here as well. And basically, what we're just discussing here is we are discussing everything to do with ADHD and fitness and how to stay productive.
Yeah, man, neurodiversity in the workplace, you know.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we're discussing as well about the stigma of neurodiverse individuals who are in the workplace, because obviously we're not discriminating or anything like that. We are basically discussing how the facts that people who are wheelchair bound should be treated as equal as someone that says, for example, someone that lives with autism or ADHD or even dyslexia or dyspraxia, whatever, we should all be equal. And this is why I want everyone to share whatever platform you're on. Please share this, and then we can get this message heard by many that this needs to end this stigma.
Yeah. It's a big issue, mate. It's it's a massive issue, especially, I mean, it's much more heard of now, as I say, but back when that happened to me, it wasn't. And again, I'll say it again. There's a good chance I could have took them court for what they did now.
Yeah.
You know, and it was only a little while ago, but yeah, it's much more heard of now, you know, neurodiversity in the workplace, but there's still not enough happening. And there's loads that you can do in terms of a leader, you know, to make your work environment that a little bit more inclusive. Loads and loads of things, you know, I could sit all day and tell you. Loads of actionable steps, and I've got loads and loads of key takeaways for you as a leader to implement straight away, you know. And in turn, it's going to save you time, money, resources, valuable talent, a lot of heartache and pain along the way, potential hurdles in the recruitment process, you know. So at the end of the day, you can sell this neurodiversity in the work stuff to leaders, bosses, organizations, but you've got to remember they are a business, so they don't really care unless they're making or saving money. So yeah, it looks great on their brand image, but at the end of the day, as a boss, as a leader, all you really care about as a business owner is money. Let's face it. And I'm telling you now, with reasonable adjustments, you'll save a whole load of money in recruitment fees alone, just by embracing neurodiversity in the workplace and just listening and just figuring out how you can make your work environment that little bit more inclusive and tailor make your work environment for individuals with ADHD, or hasn't got to be ADHD. Listen, I'm the ADHD coach, yeah? So that is what I specialize in. But, you know, I'm talking about across the board autism. I've got dyslexia too. And, you know, there's loads that you can do you know, someone said to me the other day about a walk-in meeting. I mean, me personally, I've never done a walk-in meeting. ADHD shows up differently for everyone, so I get that. But I don't know. There's loads you could do. Walk-in meeting, you're rating the way that you feel at work when you're doing a certain task. And there's a way of using AI to get the results in of all the people that rated the way they feel on a certain task, and then just give the right task to the right person. You know, if an individual with ADHD is getting overwhelmed by, I don't know, a certain administration task, don't give it to him. Give it to someone else. Give him something he enjoys, and he's going to perform at his highest level. You know, individuals with ADHD really do struggle with boring tasks. And at the end of the day, in life, we have to do boring things. I get it. But if you're in the workplace and you can make his life that little bit easier by giving him something that he generally enjoys doing, he's going to perform out of his skin and probably going to make you really proud as his boss and leader.
Absolutely. Yeah, evening, Richard. I know you live with autism. Everyone on TikTok, thank you for all your interaction. If any of you whatever platform you're on, have got any questions for myself or Liam surrounding the topic we're talking about, which is ADHD and fitness, or if you know anyone that is struggling in a workplace with whatever neurodiverse condition they have, whether it's autism, dyslexia, ADHD, whatever, please do put it in the comments and let's get these addressed, because we're not just here just to end the stigma of mental health. We're not. We are here to end the stigma of neurodiverse. Because yes, we're all got some sort of neurodiversity towards us. Of course we do. But we need to end the stigma and tell these stereotypes that yes, we're not like you. We need to be understood, accepted, and do it all through awareness.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, I went through most of my life thinking I was stupid because I couldn't focus. And I'll never forget in school, if I had an important task or deadline coming up, I was going to swear then, I used to absolutely brick myself.
Hey, Liam, listen, if you want to swear, you swear, because at the end of the day, all you are doing is expressing how you feel. That's all you're doing. Well, the amount of times I've sweared on here.
All right, then let's go for it. I was absolutely shitting myself, right? When I had an important task or deadline coming up, maybe a project, bit of homework, and honestly, I tried my hardest, and I used to sit there and give it everything I got, and I just couldn't do it. I'll never forget once. I just joined my first school. I was in year 7, and the form teacher come round, and she asked us what we had for dinner the night before, and I completely forgot. And with that, all the kids laughed, and I felt about this big, you know, and I thought, how could I forget what I had for dinner? Don't get me wrong, I remembered a bit later on in the day, but I was like, mate, how did I forget what I had for dinner? And I just ran it down to dyslexia because I got diagnosed with that at a young age, back in year 6 of school. So our old was probably about 10 or 11, right? So it wasn't until later on in life that I got diagnosed with ADHD. You know, I always thought it was a dyslexia. I never took no medication for dyslexia or anything. I just lived with it and thought, oh, I'm just that little bit slower of a learner. And, you know, just dealt with it, really. But yeah, since getting the medication for ADHD, man, my life changed, man, in many ways. And it continues to get better. But yeah, as I say before that, mate, I've been arrested more times than I can remember. I've had more fights than I can remember. I've been glassed, bottled, stabbed, jumped a million times. But I still don't let my past define my future. You know, ever since getting diagnosed, my life's changed in many ways. And now all I want to do is give back. And I am a high performance fitness coach for individuals with ADHD. Yeah, I am. I'm a living, breathing, walking, talking example of what I do. Yes, I am. But I'm also an inclusive workplace specialist. And that is what I am passionate about more than anything. Because I got knocked down by employers my whole life, as I say. And my question to them is, what are they doing for the people that come knocking at their door? You know, because addressing neurodiversity in the workplace is crucial for companies in terms of saving time, money, and potential hurdles in the recruitment process. Now, I'm not quite sure where they are at the moment, but would we agree in order to get them where they are now to where they want to be, they're going to need a new vehicle or strategy to get you there?
Absolutely.
Yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And Rachel, thank you
if
for
the
your
answer
comment.
is yes, if
Yeah, and
the answer is
sorry,
yes, I've
you
got the
keep
perfect
freezing here.
solution
You
to that
keep
problem.
freezing.
You know, that'll save time, money, a lot. Ah, sorry.
It's all right.
Here we go. We're back. Yeah, but no, I'm extremely passionate about that. That's my main focus. You know, at the minute, because I was. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've been an estate agent. I've been a doorman. I've been a plumber. I've been a bricklayer. You know, I've been a labourer, a plasterer, a security guard. I'm now a fitness coach. I've jumped from job to job my whole life, but it all makes sense now because, you know, individuals with ADHD do get bored very quickly, and I got bored quite a lot and just moved on. Done countless college courses. I've actually got an MVQ level 1 and 2 in carpentry and joinery, but whatever you do, don't ask me to hang your door because it'll probably fall off. I've never used it in my life. And I was actually doing that in the afternoon after finishing my job as an estate agent twice a week for 2 years, and I've never used it. I've done electrics, bricklaying, plumbing, but never used it. But this right now is my life's work.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm proud of you of that. I really am. But
Thank you so
obviously,
much.
going back to the classrooms now. Obviously, thank you for your comment. Yeah, I'm so proud of Liam for actually sharing his story as well. And Richard, he put, if I went to school these days with digital classrooms, audio and visual now, but unfortunately, there were none of that back in the day. There were
Of
none of
course.
that.
Exactly.
No. No.
Yeah.
See,
Exactly.
with me, our eldest, he's 12 now, but he was actually diagnosed with autism in 2017. And that was
Right.
the first ever time I actually heard the word autism.
Really?
That was the first time.
Yeah, funny you should say that, because I never heard autism until I got diagnosed with ADHD either. Because I wasn't, I wasn't in the neurodiverse world, was I? I just, I thought it was a normal person that couldn't focus. That's all it was. You know what I mean? But it wasn't until getting diagnosed, and then obviously now I'm giving back and trying to really, really push this, that you find out there's actually other conditions which, may I add, are very similar to ADHD. Autism is,
Absolutely, and that's what all this is about. Is just raising that awareness. But it's just, what do we do if we? What can we do to change the way people think, and how they can now slowly become to accept there are people out there who have a neurodiverse condition?
Well, it really depends on who we're talking to. Is it the general public? Is it a specific person? Do you know what I mean? I mean, most
Mainly
people.
the school system and the workplace, because there really should be like a safe space for these people. Because I know ADHD can trigger for people with ADHD to become isolated.
100%, 100%. Well, individuals with ADHD, when individuals with ADHD are not performing, they often isolate themselves. And when they isolate themselves, they're not contributing to the world, and this is the issue here. They often do when they're not performing, but if they're not performing in a certain task, give them something they enjoy doing, make them feel welcome, make them excited to come to work or school. There's loads that you can do. Again, if you've got a teacher or a leader that understands neurodiversity, then that's going to make everyone's life easier across the board, because they're going to be open to potential, call them problems, issues being raised. So it's going to make everyone's life easier because they're more open to questions, But at the end of the day, if people don't actually realize what people with neurodiversity bring to the table, then what's the point? People need to know that what they actually bring, because otherwise there's no point. You get it? But I think the SEND schools do a really good job. But your average school, and look, me, I went through school, I didn't even know I had ADHD, and I think it's a lot different now, because kids are getting diagnosed with it earlier and earlier in life. But back in my day, I was just looked at as that naughty kid, slap on the wrist, get on with it, detention.
Yeah.
And well, it didn't solve nothing at all. Matter of fact, it probably made it worse. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Really did.
Yeah, because the trauma from being punished within schools. It's
yeah.
Liam, you don't need to talk to me of how I'm actually going to say it bluntly, and if this triggers anyone, then I am not sorry, because at the end of the day, this is facts, what we bring here. This is raw and stuff like that, and basically what it is the school system is fucked. It really, really is, and they need to start. And it's not just mainstream. It's not just mainstream schools. It's SEN schools as well, up and down the country. They need, and as Rachel put it on TikTok as well, teachers need better and more training into how to deal with these individuals living with these neurodivergent conditions. Richard, I'm going to read your comment in a minute because that is absolutely powerful. Rachel, my Instagram is MH Warrior 2020, but the YouTube is at MH Warrior TV. So so please do subscribe, everyone. But when it comes to it, because obviously everyone I'm just going to pick on autism for example, because I know autism and ADHD do go hand in hand, and I understand that perfectly because obviously our elders, he's got autism and ADHD, and basically I know how much of a challenge it is raising him. And if anyone, and I mean anyone, says it's easy and a walk in the park raising an autistic child, you have not got a clue what you're doing. You haven't, because it's a challenge. But the biggest challenge is because they've all got these complex needs, and they should. Yes, I agree to a degree. They should be treating them the same, but at the same time, they should be treating them to meet their needs, if that makes sense.
100%. 100%. I mean, I just told you a minute ago, I just got back from training a kid who's got autism, and this kid wouldn't even come out of his room. This kid does not go out with family on days out. All he does is stays in his room. He's got no friends. And I started off by training his little brother doing boxing. So I'm a boxing coach, yeah. And his little brother's got ADHD. Great kid. It took his brother, the guy, Levi, who's got autism, a couple of months to pluck up the courage and actually meet me, because as we all know, people with autism don't tend to like meeting new people. But he plucked up the courage to come down and meet me. We've got a really, really good relationship now. And I train him every single Friday, and it's changed his life. This kid wouldn't even come out of his room. He was homeschooled by his parents, which was proving to be hopeless. Now he goes into school. He goes out with his family on days out, and he comes down every single day. And I've got a really, really good relationship with this kid, and it's changing his life. And that, for me, is probably one of my best success stories so far for my fitness coaching business.
Wow. Can you train me? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, man. I'll just fly over to Lancaster. Where is it? Lancaster, isn't
it? Lancashire.
Oh, that's it, Lancashire. Good 3 hours, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
so
just
yeah,
all about
man.
That.
Yeah, I mean, just coming back to it, 80% of people with ADHD feel like life is hopeless. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel like life is hopeless. And when I heard that, that's when I thought, you know what, I've got to do something here. And that's when I really went full on this, you know. And as I say, this is my life's work, you know. This really, really is. And I can't wait to help as many people as I can. The fitness coaching is one thing, but I'll come back to it. Neurodiversity in the workplace is really what I'm pushing hard at the minute. You know, it really, really is. And yeah, man, you know, when I heard 80% of people with ADHD feel like life is hopeless, I thought, I've got to do something here. You know, our brains are magical machines, but what fills our brain is the most dominant thoughts that we have in any given moment. So if you wake up in the morning and the first thing on your mind is, I can't, I won't, I never could, that's going to let off negative chemicals, which in turn is going to affect our ability to function. So my answer to them is, what story are they telling themselves? Every time I meet with an individual with ADHD, whether it be online or in person, what story are you telling yourself?
Yeah.
And a lot of kids from a young age, especially with ADHD, are usually telling themselves an unhealthy story. And they've got to change their story. Change their story, change their life. What
Yeah,
story are you telling yourself?
and it goes back to Richard's comment, where it's actually absolutely brilliant, where he actually says, you used to hear about. Oh, I was thinking something was going over me then. You used to hear about individuals' traits back in the day. ASD, which is autism spectrum, and the other term was really aware until 1987. Because of numerous reasons, he wasn't diagnosed until 2015, September 2015 to be precise. Best moments of my life. For me, he knew he was unique and not like others, and that was from age 5, which you was just talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
thank you for sharing that, Richard.
ADHD doesn't mean you're broken. ADHD doesn't mean you're broken. It just means I do things in my own creative way.
Yeah.
Focus on what you can do and don't make yourself miserable trying to do the impossible. Because that's what I used to do.
The only one, and I'm going to say this bluntly, the only people that are broken are the ones that bring these people down. That they are,
100%.
because all these people who are living with an SCN, that's exactly what it is. It's an SCN neurodivergent condition. When they're in crisis, they're in pain. They are in pain. And all they want to do is be understood and accepted. See, just before I came on here, our eldest, he went into crisis. He went into crisis. And he just wanted, well, he is a little bit spoiled. I blame the mother, but but either way, it's just as it is. And I understand why he's spoiled because obviously us as kids, we were never treated like this. We were dragged up and abused. But the kids today, they just want to be protected. And all we're doing is breaking this circle of abuse. That's all we want to do is protect them.
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
So if anyone's got any questions related to this topic, please do put them forward, whatever platform you are on. Any questions? Or if you've got questions for me, Liam, you're more than welcome to ask.
Yeah, man. I mean, we had a brief chat before we met, but I mean, just tell me why you do this work and why you're so passionate about it, man.
I am passionate about not just raising awareness for mental health, but raising awareness for neurodiversity. I'm going to get to that comment and that question in a minute, Kerry, because I think Liam's got a pretty good answer for that. Because it's all about acceptance and raising that awareness. Because as we were saying several times, there's not enough support or not enough acceptance out there for people living with whatever condition it is, autism, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. There's not enough support, and it's up to us as parents.
I had an ADHD coach.
Exactly. This is why we need more people like you in the world, because obviously the teachers, and this is me. This is what I do. I pick on the school system. Do I believe teachers know what they're doing? I'm going to say no, they don't. because
But that's where it
they
starts. That's where it
well,
starts, isn't it?
well, technically, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't start with the teachers, and I'm going to explain why. Because the teachers are.
I don't say the teachers. I mean, it
No,
starts in the work.
Liam,
It starts in school.
No, well, what I'm going to say is the teachers are just as much as victims as the kids. And the reason is that is because the teachers, as much as they really, really want to help the children to be the best versions of themselves, they have to listen to orders from higher power, such as the local authority, who take orders from, the government.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but going to Kerry's question, and I'd really like to know, I really want to know this. Why aren't more women diagnosed with ADHD?
Well, I can't really give you a straightforward answer to that because, a lot of women, I'd say, hide their feelings. And I think women, a lot more than men, don't want to get seen as different. I think, if a man thinks he's got an issue, he'll generally say something about it. Whereas I think a woman, she don't want to be seen as stupid as what people with ADHD think they are. Because I thought I was stupid my whole life. I just, mate, why can't I focus and get this done? Something wrong with me. But it wasn't until I was 35 that I found out. Do you know?
Yeah, and that's what I've just said, Richard, because correct me if I'm wrong on anyone on platforms here. I believe, yes, males do mask. I admit that they mask.
Definitely, when it comes to the way they're feeling,
women mask much better than men.
You took the words out of my mouth. I probably needed to rephrase that, but you just done it for me. So thank you.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Hi Ash, hope you're well. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. Women, and this isn't us being sexist, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's facts. Women are really better at hiding things and masking better than men. So my question,
Yeah.
And my question, and this is to everybody. Why do you think the school system, or people in the workplace, or professionals, whatever, why do you think they don't understand when people, or even notice or recognize when someone is masking their feelings?
That's a bit of a hard one to answer, that one.
Mm.
How would you know? You wouldn't, would you?
No.
You wouldn't. How could you tell?
Good question, though.
Great question. One I certainly can't answer, so it definitely was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how would you know? You wouldn't, would you? Cause especially if they're hiding it really well. Do you know what I mean? But it all starts indoors. It all starts at home. That's where it starts.
It does.
You know what I mean? So, you need to have really good conversations with their parents. Some parents are not so good at doing that. Some parents don't go to their kiddie parents' day. I'm not a parent, but I know that is what happens.
Exactly, Richard. You'd notice.
So if they don't go out, they're gonna know.
No, you know what, Richard? That is. Adam did comment for Liam. Richard, I'm actually going to really agree with you on that one. People notice when they're self-harming, when someone self-harms. They notice that.
Oh, yeah.
But not as much as they're supposed to, but they do notice it. But they don't notice when someone's masking. And this is my problem as well with the school system as well, where, and it's not just mainstream schools either, it's SEN schools. They don't notice when someone's masks. They don't.
Again, it all
Exactly, Carol.
starts indoors.
Exactly. I know we're going off topic a little bit here, but when you mentioned about self-harm, it has actually come out, and obviously I'm actually to blame here. Tattoos, getting a tattoo is actually another form of self-harm. But at the same time, it not a form of self-harm, because why I say that is because you're actually hiding the scars and you're showing off the scars. That shows strength, maybe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, or please tell me if I'm talking absolutely shit. I've no script for me, ladies and gentlemen. No script.
Oh man, if kids are self-harming, that's terrible.
It is.
But yeah, but again, it all starts indoors, and if they're having a bad time indoors with their parents, maybe their parents are on drugs, alcohol, they could well self-harm. And at the same time, if it's not visible and they've got a bad parent that don't show up to the parents' evening, how the hell on earth are the teachers gonna know that they're masking? They're just not, because you can't tell. So unless they've got relationships with the parents, which they probably haven't if you're from a broken home, as I was, then they ain't gonna know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I would mention that comment, Kerry, but we're not talking about BPD tonight. But obviously, it is a great comment, and thank you for your comment.
I train a girl with BPD as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I train a girl with BPD, man. She's a girl, man. She really struggles with it, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Obviously, thanks.
I don't know much about it, but yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, it's. I've just got comments coming through all the time here. I've got tattoo where tattoos is about individuality and self-expression. I've got someone saying, Eileen, thank you for your comment. Any body modification to the body is a form of self-harm. Absolutely. So yeah, I know we have mental health level 3 qualifications, but also I've got advanced social psychology degree as well. I just need to make one more payment on that, and then I'll get the certification. So yes, it's just all about just keeping going. Hello, Dawn. How are you? I hope you're well, because we're just talking about ADHD and fitness. So my next question before we wrap up is when someone who lives with a neurodiverse condition and they're living with depression or anxiety, and it could be any sort of anxiety, what can they do? What strategies can they do to stay healthy and stay fit and productive?
Well, it all depends on their ability to move, don't it? I mean, if they've got no real issues with moving their body, hit the gym, do boxing, go running. It's going to change your life. It changed mine. I've been in boxing for many years now, and that really that changed me dramatically. So good for the mindset. If you're unable to do high impact training or whatever, you got issues, I don't know, you're injured or whatever it might be, just go for a long walk. Meditation's a great one too. And just focus on what you can do again, and don't make yourself miserable trying to do the impossible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Yeah. So, right. Yeah, I know you don't like, but like obviously, Dawn knows that like she's put a comment where obviously people that know me know I'm not religious, but there are people out there that are religious. So, with all respect, I am going to share this. She put, "Can I say I was healed completely from ADHD and mental health through Jesus Christ?" But she don't like sports. So yeah.
Wow, good luck to her, man.
That's just as it is. People turn to, um,
Do you know what though?
yeah,
With that being said, I honestly don't think people go on like ADHD is some sort of. We all know. I'd say it's definitely a condition, but in my eyes, it's not a disability. It's a For me, it's a superpower. It allows me to hyper focus. Mate, I'm up at 4 a.m. going running every morning. My mates go to me, "How do you do it?" Because the mind says yes, but the body says no, but still get up and do it. So I feel like it's a superpower. If I find something interesting, I can hyper focus on that and get so much done. Yeah, it's got its traits, but I certainly don't see it as a disability. It's a condition, but for me, it's my superpower. And again, ADHD doesn't mean you're broken. It just means I do things in my own creative way.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think what we should do is last question. Where can people find you?
Yeah, listen, you can find me anywhere really. You can find me on Instagram. That's the platform that I mainly use. So I'm on Instagram. My name's Liam Tuohy, as you can see there. Two Tough Health and Fitness. So that's number two, TUFF Health and Fitness. You'll find me on Instagram. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on Facebook. All I do is talk about ADHD, fitness, boxing, and neurodiversity in the workplace. Because again, I feel like ADHD individuals are the people that I was born to serve, and I will not stop until I've helped as many people as I possibly can.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. I am going to carry on the live on TikTok right after this. So everyone on Facebook and YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at MH Warrior TV. Where you can find that on Google, that's not a problem. Or if you're on Instagram, please do give Liam a follow as well. Please do give us a follow at MH Warrior MH Warrior 2020, and yeah, I will see you all. At the minute, there's no live next week. There isn't any, but if that changes, I will definitely put a post up, confirming that. But if not, I will see you in 2 weeks. So please
Yeah,
do
guys,
tune in
see you
for
later.
that.
Thanks for listening to everyone, wherever you're
Yes.
listening from.
Big,
And
big respect to you, Liam. Big respect, and I will see you, and I'll be in touch at some point because I want you back. I really do. So I'm gonna
definitely, I'd love that. Thank you so much for your time.
absolutely right. I'll see you later. Obviously, I said I was gonna carry on the live on TikTok, so I'll see you all
Yeah,
later, guys. Bye.
look after yourself. See you later, mate. All the best.